Wow, we are back. It's season 3, and it's bigger and better than ever. In the next 12 weeks are 120 drivers. Yes, you heard that right. 120 drivers will be taking in the sites of Hockenheim, Snetterton, Imola, Long Beach, and Interlagos. But for obviously, with the season ending out at the circuit, Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. So, what does season 3 bring? Well, not only are we visiting new tracks, but we have a new format and a new commentary team to go with it as well. Nick Allen, my good friend, he's departed to take care of Porsche Cup, which is already proving to be an absolutely epic season with action up and down the field. And joining myself, Tim Cox, is for our main race later will be James Parfitt. But right now, I'm joined by Ian Winchester. He's going to be taking care of the rookie qualification and the race. Ian, welcome to the team and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Tim. Good evening and welcome, everybody. Here we are once again to open the new season of iRacing, UK's GT3 League, live on Twitch and YouTube, brought to you by iRacing, the world's premier motorsport simulation. Who are iRacing UK? We are a community of enthusiastic and inclusive group of racers from across the UK who like to run social races, practice sessions, leagues, but also, most importantly, share experiences and our passion for sim racing. Thanks for the introduction. I am Ian Winchester, broadcasting from Europe, sat in the commentary booth high above the Motordrome section at Hockenheim, Baden-Württemberg, an FIA Grade 1 licensed track. Originally built in 1932 by a young timekeeper, Ernst Christ, who wanted a racetrack in his hometown, sent a letter to the mayor, and the mayor agreed. The GP track we'll be racing tonight is 4.5 kilometres long, or hopefully is from one of my favourite cars, the Merc AMG. It looks great, sounds great, goes great. The GT3 record holder is Christian Engelhardt with a 1:39.428 in his Huracan in 2017. As always, we'll be taking your questions throughout the broadcast, so feel free to drop your messages in chat. We'd love to hear from everyone watching, so post in the chat now who you're cheering on. But after the week 13 chaos, I'm sure folk will be relieved to get back to some real racing. Brand new season, blank points board, everything to drive for. And this rookie race will see who goes forward to the main race that Tim will be taking on later. Just a quick run through on the format this evening. Points will be and a few top drivers will enter the long race, all others into the short race. First up, which will be starting shortly, currently we're having qualification in that, and that will be beginning soon, with the longer race beginning after the checkered flag here. The short race will be a 30-minute race after 4 laps of qualification. So Tim, what is your flashpoint here, do you think?
Well, it's a really good call. So obviously we've not too long ago visited Hockenheim for the Race of Champions a couple of weeks ago. Obviously here on the iRacing UK Twitch channel and YouTube channel. That was a much shorter version of the circuit, but we've already been here for Porsche Cup a couple of weeks ago, and wow, what an event that was! There was lots of action down into turn 2, and then obviously you've got the. Well, I would say long back straight, but it's actually a curve to the left through Parabolica, which then brings you hard onto the brakes up to the hairpin, which was a site of many overtakes and incidents and filled with action. So there's definitely going to be the 2 corners to look out for viewers at home tonight. Turn 2 and turn 6. And wow, I think the anticipation is absolutely building. I think we've got numerous people subscribing. Thank you for those. Ian, how can people subscribe and how can they like the action?
Well, I'm sure everyone's familiar with Amazon Prime, and if you have Amazon Prime, we probably know, or maybe don't, that Amazon own Twitch. So you will get a free Twitch subscription if you have Amazon Prime, and that would be really helpful to IRUK as a whole if you're able to subscribe to our Twitch channel.
Lovely stuff. There are also obviously paid options in there as well. So if you like what you see, feel free to drop a subscription. Obviously, it helps to keep the community free and keeps it running. Also, you can drop us a follow so you stay up to date with the latest events. And also, if you're watching over on YouTube, feel free to hit a like and subscribe on there as well. And Ian, just seen the grids come up. Do you want to run through that?
Sure. In pole, it looks like we've got Andres Bedoya. Apologies if I didn't pronounce that correctly. You've got Matthew Anderson in the second. In the second row, we've got Finn Van Den and then Lee Cronshaw. Third row, Tom Noble and Peter Cox. Fourth row, Thomas McDonnell and then Jan Ruska. Then we have Stuart William in ninth position, 10th Ash Cooper, 11th Paul Stout, and 12th Mark Jennings. 13th Christopher Bates, 14th Marcus Law, 15th Matt Edmondson, 16th James Foster, 17th Seb Stenning, 18th Rihan Artif, 19th David Burridge, 20th Tyler Bolden, 21st Alex Mitchell, 22nd Hector Godeth actually, 23rd Rob Windsor, and 24th Joe Turner, 25th Shane Abbott. And looks like the formation lap is just starting, so we're going to switch to the action. Pace car is out. It looks as though Ash Cooper and Peter Cox are starting from the pits for whatever reason, maybe some last-minute tyre pressure changes. And the pace car's just slowly winding its way around. Here we go, the pace car's in. Back onto the start-finish straight. Lights are going to come up any second. And here we go! Thrashing it down the start-finish straight, Anders Bedoya and Edmondson are coming round. Bedoya manages to keep first position, but goes wide. Does he allow Edmondson to take the lead? He does. So Andres Bedoya is now in second. Then Wittenberg is in third. Williams fourth. Noble is fifth. Morgan Driscoll has just taken over into fifth position from Noble. Edmondson is still leading. Bedoya is right behind him, looking to take advantage of some draft as they come round onto the long curving straight. But then Wittenberg is a little further back. Williams and Driscoll and Noble, Struthers, Law, and Letts is the next route. And just coming round a really tight bend. Looks like there was no change at the front there. Bedoya has dropped back a slight bit by the looks of it. And coming up to a fast left, takes it well over to the right, braking hard for that right angle. There we go. And Edmondson is still in the lead. Mark Johnson is climbing places rapidly. He's doing really well there as we're going through these S-bends. I love the noises of these GT3 cars. I don't know about you. So it looks like Edmondson is still in the lead. And Alex Mitchell is climbing a little bit in his Mercedes, best car ever. Hopefully we'll get some in-car sound from that later production crew. Then Wittenberg is in third. Looks like he's being challenged. He's in a Merc. Best car. Morgan Driscoll is in fifth position. He's looking tasty, and he's being passed by John Williams. He just scraped it. There's a bit of a bang there. Tom Noble on board in the Porsche. Marcus Law and Morgan Driscoll are very close behind each other to Tom Noble. They're challenging. Marcus Law has dropped back a fraction, but Driscoll is close to Noble. And there's a bit of a spin, or a bit of accident on that nasty hairpin. I don't see what caused that. I'm not really sure. Maybe we missed out. We might get a replay shortly. Edmondson is starting to edge out into the lead. Okay, we're jumping through to the front car, Matt Edmondson. He's half a second in front. He's really starting to pull that out. It looks like that first turn mistake by Bedoya is really starting to cost him. Mark Johnson is doing excellently and starting to come through the field. Come through the field really well. Tom Noble. We're going to focus on Tom Noble a little bit as he's starting to. John Williams is really challenging Tom Noble, and John Williams takes it. That was an excellent pass. Morgan Driscoll is starting to really challenge for places. We're just focusing on Morgan Driscoll now as he's Edmondson is starting to get a bit of pressure from Andres Bedoya. He's starting to catch up. He's drafting him. Still focusing on Edmondson, and Bedoya is only 4/10 behind him, 3/10 behind him now. He's really starting to press him, hopefully trying to pressure him and make a mistake. He's just starting to pull ahead a fraction by 100th. And Bedoya has really fluffed that there now and allowed Edmondson to open up a 6/10 lead. Okay, we're just jumping to Shane Abbott in P12. He is racing nicely. We're now following car 106 ahead of McMullen and behind Lee. We've got a replay coming up, and I'm having a few technical issues right now, so I cannot see what the stream is doing. My stream is just broken, so I'm very sorry about that.
Yeah, just looking at the replays there, he just lost it going into turn 1 in his Porsche and just caught him out, just got onto the curves a little bit. Obviously, the Porsche being rear-engined and rear-wheel drive, and can be a little bit oversteery, obviously, with all that weight at the rear of the car. But obviously, that battle up front that we were talking about earlier, obviously, you picked up that Bedoya had dropped back after the exit out of the hairpin, but obviously, Abbott on the attack now is just on board with him. Yeah, Bedoya, he's currently holder of the fastest lap of the race by over 2 tenths compared to Matt Edmondson, who's got the second fastest lap of the race. But Bedoya's definitely a man on the move. He's been a few attempts quicker than Edmondson each lap, so he's definitely a driver to watch. Just looking down the field as well, John Davis up 11 places. Jan Hrusker is up 13 places in his Mercedes, but I think definitely driving the day for overtakes at the moment is Seb Stenning in his Lamborghini, up 16 places, Ian.
Yep, that's incredible. That's incredible effort there. Edmondson is still in the lead, although Bedoya is catching him a little bit. He's now only 2 tenths behind him. He's really made up a bit of time on that. Oh, Edmondson came out of the corner really well there. Opened up a little bit. Okay, it's looking like okay, my technical issues are nearly at an end. Here we go.
Do you want me to pick it up for you, Ian, while you're experiencing your
Yes, please.
Yeah, no worries, my friend. We've got a brilliant battle of third. We've got Edmondson versus Bedoya, Ferrari versus Porsche, as Edmondson reclaims that place that he lost only 2 corners ago. But he's got Bedoya right behind him in that Porsche as they head now towards the stadium section. Sorry, no, it's a little bit further on. Then it's now hard onto the brakes. This slow left-hander. It's only really one line through here. You've got to be really careful on the power. And it's all about just setting yourself up, sacrificing that first corner for a good exit. As now they head out towards the stadium section. Obviously, this part of the track remained when Hockenheim was remodeled, when the long straights that headed down into the forest were disbanded and then the new section was created. But there's only 3 attempts separating these 2 drivers. Hardly anything to split them at all, and trading absolutely stunning fastest laps as well. Just having a little bit of a look down the field. It's been relatively clean tonight. Obviously, a lot of these drivers racing with each other for the first time, and Bedoya and Emerson are really close by, but we've got Johnson here. Currently in 10th place. He's up 9 places in that Ferrari, and he's got Bruce just ahead of him, and there's hardly anything to separate these guys in the midfield. Around about a second covering everyone from 8th place left. But that's Noble. He's crashed there. Looked away from the screen, so I didn't quite catch what happened to him. Just looked across at the timing screen to see how far they were away from one another. Great to get a replay of exactly what happened there, but wow, this has been absolutely remarkable. And there we go, just lost it and spun it round, hit the inside. It doesn't seem to have picked up too much damage in that Porsche to the front end, and hopefully he can recover that, but he's lost a lot of places from that. And I think so Aaron James has had a couple of incidents within the last couple of minutes, but we'll see. If we can try further down the field, we'll see if we can try and pick up what's happened to him. But we come back now. We've got the. Sorry, Ian, you're back.
Yeah, that was just to say, yeah, I'm back. That's right. That T1 is pretty nasty, actually. It can actually get really bad when you accelerate a little bit too early. But now we're with Christopher Bates in that rather lovely lime green and black livery, bouncing on the curb a little bit there, maybe trying to take it a little bit too tight, going wide nicely, smoothly, and obviously getting on the power exactly right, opening up a bit of a gap. Coming into the left-hander, which can always catch you out a little bit, and you just go wide before anchoring up really hard for these S-bends before you get back to the start-finish. Just coming past us in the Motordrome Racing HQ. Johnson is really coming up to the back of Betts. He's super close. He's looking for that draft. Betts went a little bit wide, bounced off that curb. That would have slowed him, but Johnson really didn't take advantage of that, and now he's being pressed from behind himself. Going around that really tight right-hander before the left for the big curve. Did you get a good exit? And let's look at the timings. They've both got exactly the same exit. There's nothing in it. There's 4/10. There's no real closing of the gaps. Now coming up to the big hairpin 100-yard board. Brakes late. Car number 9 brakes late. Takes the inside line beautifully. And 202 nearly loses another place for the Ferrari. That was an incredible move from car 9. Right up to that fast right-hander, solidifies his position, guards it. And looks like there's going to have to be, he's going to go and retrade the pace. No, he doesn't quite manage it. And nearly spins. Car number 9 extends his lead, gets a nice exit, comes up to that right-hander where you have to brake pretty hard and just be a little bit careful on the throttle till you pass the apex, otherwise you'll spin out into that gravel trap on the left. Anthony Bruce is letting Mark Johnson get away with it now. Coming up to the S's, here we go. Can he make up any time with a bit of late braking as we go round those last double corners into the start-finish straight? Now we're moving to Matthew Struthers in that beautiful Merc AMG, hammering it down after the first turn 1. And who we've got John Williams behind him. He's 4/10 behind him. That was a late braking effort. It was a great exit. And he's lost a bit of time there. So we're heading off down that huge, long, curving straight. But they both came out of that corner really well. John Williams a little bit better. He's gaining on him. And there's a bit of a slipstream here. And we're on board with Matthew Struthers. Because up, you can see the front of the car dip. And John Williams has not done well in that corner at all. He braked really early, but actually got a really good exit and made up a couple of tenths on Matthew Struthers. Coming around the fast right-hander, over to the left, braking hard for that left hand. There we go. He's still edging closer. Williams is edging closer and closer. Struthers has got a really nice exit there. Still with Struthers, goes a little bit wide. You can see just like skimmed a little bit on the curb. Brakes hard, goes around the inside of that curve really nicely. Coming up to the S's for that double right before the start finish. You see the car leaning, even though the suspension's so hard there. There's that much G-force, the cars are still leaning. Porsche of Williams, hot on the heels of Struthers. What's this turn 1 going to do? Sometimes if you're a little bit nervous, you can run a little bit wide. He has run wide. There might be a bit of a track penalty there, but it has given him some lovely time. And now here we are with Joe Turner McMillan in his Lamborghini Huracan, braking hard behind Lee Cronshaw, and tries to just take him on the inside before that big curve. What you really need here is a good exit, so you can make up time in the slipstream on this huge, fast corner. Let's see, is he making up any time? We're going to go to P3, then Wittenberg in a Merc. He's been steadily eating away at the lead that 1 and 2 have got right from the start. And it looks like he's actually settled himself a little bit, maybe getting a little bit lighter on fuel, starting to get closer, maybe to vie for second. Give Bedoya a bit of something to think about instead of trying to take first, and maybe snatch that second place off for him. Heading now with Lee Cronshaw in P11 in his Ferrari 488. And we've got McMullen is looking like he's really trying to challenge him. He's really trying to unnerve Lee Cronshaw, braking late into the corners, bouncing a little bit off the curves, really trying to take as much speed through these corners as possible. He's taking a slightly different line to Lee Cronshaw. And heading off to P1, and it looks like there's a battle, and Bedoya has managed to take it, and he's just managed. Is he going to hold on to it? He has. That was a beautiful pass. The question is, can he get a good exit? Can he keep the speed up, or will Edmondson be able to retake the lead? Here we are on board with Edmondson, but Edmondson has drafted him, and he's taken the inside line on that huge Parabolica, and sadly, Bedoya was not able to hold on. Is he going to be able to late brake and inside into the right? No, he's not. He's decided to take the safe line and stay in second, finish the race, live to fight another day. And here we go now with Rob Windsor on the M4, really challenging Matt Dickens in that pink liveried car. And then he goes wide. Is he going to late brake inside? He's not managed to just do it, but it looks as though he's got a good line. The Dickens goes a little bit wide and he's starting to edge up on him. There's that fast right coming up with that frankly awful 90-degree left-hand turn. If you don't brake right, you can find yourself in all sorts of problems and off tracks. And it looks like there was a little bit of a rearward skip there from Rob Windsor. He lost a bit of time, I think. Now we're with Paul Stout, car 21 in his Porsche 911, looking to challenge Tyler Bolden. He lost the position to Tyler Bolden, thank you. And he was looking to re-challenge and retake it. And he's right behind him, coming in to that corner. Is he going to try and late brake him around these S's? No, he's really taking lots of curb there. The thing is with the curb, it might nudge the car a little bit wide and unbalance it and slow you down ultimately, even though it's a shorter line. Here we go through. That was a beautiful line from Tyler Bolden, exactly textbook. And Paul Stout is not using all of the track, so Tyler Bolden is going to carry a little bit more speed there, and you can see he started to open up a bit of a lead. And now we're heading to Mark Johnson in his 488. Oh, that was a little bit of a mistake there. He went to 8, he just nudged the curb, allowed Bruce Letts to catch him up a little bit. Now, are we going to see a similar mistake here as he comes in? And Bruce Letts is going to try and outbrake him, go in the inside. There's a little, just luckily got away with that. There was no accident. There might have been a bit of a touch, but luckily Johnson managed to keep control of the car. And Bruce Letts is now hot behind him. Probably should try and back off a little bit, let his heart rate settle down, maybe wait for a more opportune saving pass rather than just trying to dive. Coming around those S-bends, are we going to be able to take the final 2 right-handers well? What's the line going to be like for Mark Johnson? That's a good line. And Bruce Letts also takes a good line. They're going to be carrying maximum speed. Bruce Letts not quite as wide. Here we go into P1. And Matt Edmondson is coming round towards the Parabolica. Andres Bedoya is hot behind him. Is he going to get a good exit? He's 0.25 behind him. 0.24, holding at 0.24, 0.25. The exit, they drove the same line. Now he's... And then Wittenberg quietly has been making hay. And on this fight for the first and second, it is now within drafting range for this big Parabolica. So maybe next lap we'll see him challenging Bedoya for second. So here we are still with Matt Edmondson in his Ferrari 488 coming round at right-hander. It's a fast right-hander if you get it right. And then coming nicely wide, he bounced off the curb a little bit. That might drop a little bit of speed. He's not using all of the track. Did he brake? I can't tell. He's braking low. There's tons of curb being taken there. What's going to happen here? It's just like that's a lovely line. They're not heading up the curb too much. Go straight through there. Let's look at these lines here now, and both beautiful lines. What's the start-finish line looking like? Both taking exactly the same line. Bedoya running a little bit wide, maybe getting an off track there. I can't remember, but that allowed him a bit extra speed for this turn 1. How's this going to go through? And they're luckily just missing a car that had spun on T1, and Bedoya had taking a look, trying to get some clean air, get some downforce, maybe so he can brake a little bit later. Then Wittenberg here on board 3, and it's looking like he might be in a drafting range. Here we go. How's he going to do here? He's looking at those tailpipes of that 911, and he wants that second position. His nose dips, braking hard into that, catches up beautifully. Now, can he get a good exit to take advantage of that? The Porsche goes a little bit wide, bounces on the curb, loses some speed, and then Wittenberg is now very close. No let up for that right-hander there. Now hard on the brakes, nose dip, left hand, right, 90-degree turn, goes a little bit wide, maybe loses a touch too much speed there, drops a little bit back. P1 and P2 still fighting away. Here we are following Bedoya. He's only 0.3 behind. Oh, what a shame. He was a little bit anxious there maybe, and went a little bit wide, put the accelerator down a touch too early, and lost all of that good work he's been doing. He bounced nose first and is now 6th. I wonder, is there going to be any aero damage? Is he going to lose downforce on his front tyres? Is he going to pit? What's he going to say? Is he going to bravely? He's going to stay out. He's staying out. Okay, that's pretty brave. Maybe see how the car is not happy. Look at it. It's bouncing around curbs. His heart is going to be pounding right now. Maybe half a lap to settle down, then think about how the car's going to be handling before perhaps coming. Yeah, you can see the back end skipping out a little bit there. I wonder whether his front tyres are not getting the grip they need from that nose bounce into the tyre wall. Here we go now with Seb Stenning, and he's running 15th, and he's in that rather fetching light blue Lambo, and that was a lovely pass there. Oh no, my mistake. It wasn't a pass. He looked like he was going to pass it. He's going to outbrake him, and he's just going to take the inside line. And is he going to be able to maintain that? The inside line for the Ferrari has now got it. He's maintained speed though, went a little bit wide, and Rob Windsor is looking to take advantage, but he's out in clean air, but no draft. Whereas the Ferrari has draft. The Lamborghini's gone wide. What is going on? 3 cars wide now. Matt Dickens has gone in for as a beautiful line, but he's taken it too wide, bounces off the curb. The M4 had a little bit of a mistake there. Still 3 cars going for it. The M4 a little bit ahead has the inside line on Matt Dickens. Matt Dickens starts to edge ahead. The Ferrari takes a beautiful line there. The M4 perhaps getting a little bit anxious and braking too soon because he wasn't sure how much metal would be in the corner. They both take that corner, they allow themselves to settle down a little bit. Matt Dickens is just trying to fend off the M4. You can see he's nervous there. He went a little bit wide. The M4 taking a beautiful line now. There's a touch? And the Ferrari gets the best of it. That was a shame. Could have been a lovely pass, but that was a racing incident, and he maybe tried to snatch too much of that inside line that the Ferrari already had. Ferrari soldiers on, but he's going to have some wing damage. Will that affect his cornering? We'll find out next lap. Still not aware as to, let's have a look at Bedoya. He's still in 6th. We're not sure if looks like he's staying out. There's no pitting going on then, but we're still with Matt Dickens, and he's now beginning to try and catch Seb Stenning again. You can see the damage on his front wing there. I wonder whether that will really affect his top speed, because there'll be not as much smooth airflow over that beautiful Ferrari 488. Can we get an in-car? Can we see some speeds? Have we got any speed traps on the Ferrari? Can we see if his top speed is is dropped? He's running a little bit wide there. He's not entirely happy. He's in 4th. We'll see how he takes this corner. He's taking it flat. He seems is braking hard, maybe a little bit early, going wide. Yeah, he's lost a bit of downforce on his front wheels. He's not getting the traction that he really needs. He should probably start thinking about coming into the pits there. That's a little bit unfortunate, because that M4 really was probably a little bit aggressive, maybe saw his chance, and potentially probably should have backed off a little bit. Here we are, we're still with Matt Dickens. I wonder, is he going to go in for the pits? Let's find out. Or he's just coming round to the pits now. Okay, there's only 2 minutes left, and as a result of that 2 minutes, he's deciding to stay out. There's not much point pitting there because you'll just spend all of your time in the pits and lose all of your positions. Now, here we are with P1, Matt Edmondson, who's got a lot of air between him and then Wittenberg. That's a second is a long time in a racing, in a track time. Braking hard into that, still a second. They both had the same exit into that fast right-hander. You don't want to go too wide there because you want to be able to get over to the left so you can brake hard for this 90-degree left. Little slide there from the back. Maybe quite keen to get on the accelerator. Obviously feeling the pressure from Den Wittenberg, who hasn't actually made up any time. Still 1 second behind him, 1 second and 300ths. All he needs to do now is just hold this pace, hold his nerve, and not bounce off curbs. He hasn't got any damage, so in theory, just doing what he's been doing the entire race should see him home. Car 218, and that's beautiful purple livery, purple and blue livery there. Oh, that Merc is really trying hard. There was a big wide line there, and that's actually gained him 1/3 of a second coming into T1. A small bounce off that sausage curb. Nah. Then Wittenberg has gained a little bit and he's lost a little bit, and he's gained 2 more tenths now on that late braking. We're going to see it all on the exit now, but he's within drafting range. He's 6 tenths behind him, but Edmondson is coming up on some back markers. Are they going to be gentlemanly and move out of the way, or are they going to carry on their own race? We shall find out. He's 6 tenths behind him, 5.5 tenths, 5 tenths, 4.5 tenths, 3 tenths, 3.5 tenths. Drafting beautifully, brakes late, just misses the back of that Ferrari. They both get a good exit. He's now 4 tenths behind him coming in to this fast right-hander. Okay, we're going to have to get the braking zone exactly right here. That Merc is having a look. He wants a bit of clean air. He wants some more downforce on his wheels, wants some more turning force. Here we go, coming around that right-hander, taking lots of curb. Oh, the Merc went well wide. He's going to get an off track for that, but it hasn't lost him too much time, but he's now 7 tenths behind. That's a real shame. He was probably trying a little bit too hard now, but there's still some back markers to make up. And he's actually lost quite a bit of time now. He's now 2 seconds behind by the looks of it. Yeah, and Edmondson bounces a little bit on the curb there. One wonders whether he can keep his eyes out of the rearview mirror. Goes a little bit wide. Coming into the start-finish straight, coming up behind the poor SSR, Porsche 911. 1 lap to go. Can he hold his nerve? Can he hold the position? Can the Merc? The Merc is really going for it. He bounced across that sausage turb. He's probably just trying to keep as much speed as possible. Now, he's going for some back markers. Here we are. What happened there? What happened there? Why is Matt Edmondson backed off? Does he think the race has ended? Right, well, in that case, that's technical failure. So as we saw Edmondson cross the line and we said there's 1 lap to go, actually the software was telling us it's not. So that's why he backed off. That's a big relief that there was no damage to Edmondson. That would have been a total shame to have lost that in the last lap, or thinking that he'd lost and backed off. But that was a great race, superlative. Took first on the first corner from a bad start from Bedoya. It was a little bit of a first and second swap mid-race, but then he held his nerve, took it up, doing some lovely burnouts there. Look at that, victory burnouts. Why not? Spend that rubber. That's a great chopping shot there. Superb. And we've got another Ferrari joining in. Superb. Loving it. Obviously really enjoying the fact that he drove superbly there, and that was excellent. Well done, Matt Edmondson. Well done to everybody. Well done to Den Wittenberg, who did a superb challenge. Got within 3 tenths, I think, of the leader at one point, and then would just probably over-egged it into one of the corners and went a little bit wide. Race results coming up. Here we go. First, Matt Edmondson in his Ferrari G88, 488. Second was Dan Wittenberg in his Mercedes AMG. Third, John Williams. Fourth, Morgan Driscoll. Fifth, Matthew Struthers. Sixth, Andres Bedoya. Got to be a little bit gutted for Bedoya starting in pole, but I think there was a bit of a tussle at one point, and that's why he bounced out. Seventh was Mark Law. Eighth was Mark Johnson. Ninth was Shane Abbott. 10th, Lee Cronshaw. 11th, Anthony Bruce. 12th, Joe Turner. 13th, Tom Noble. 14th, Seb Stenning. 15th, Matt Dickens. 16th, Peter Cox. 17th, Rob Windsor. 18th, Alan Leather. 19th, Tyler Bolden. 20th, Paul Stout. And 21st, Jan Hruska. So, out of the points, we've now got Alex Mitchell, Stuart Williams, Stuart Pearson, James Foster, Rihan Atif, Vance Harley, Hector Gortheth. I think he's Spanish, so I think that's Thomas McDonnell, John Davis, David Burridge, Matthew Anderson, Mark Jennings, Warren Messenger, Christopher Bates, Aaron James, Andrew Brummer, and Ash Cooper, who went out dead early, it looks like. So, that was a great race. Thank you very much to everyone for taking part. Thank you for Tim for stepping in while I was having a few technical problems.
That's no problem there, Ian. It's wow, what an absolute race! What a great way to start off season 3. Lots of action there, and wow, it's absolutely brilliant, and shows why GT3s are not just so popular, obviously within iRacing, but also within our community.
This is very true. Yes, and I think there was a strong field there, because even the guys who came like further down the field and maybe didn't score any points, this is the rookie league, so perhaps they've never really stepped into GT3s, and it's a new track. So I mean, that sausage curb in T1 just after the start-finish straight can really unsettle your car. If you try and take it a little, you don't get your turn in right, that will bounce you wide, and you can lose a lot of places there. And also, we did see a 911 spinning, I think.
Yeah, that was
Bedoya. That was Bedoya.
Yeah.
He was a little bit anxious, maybe, and a little bit jittery. Went on the power a little bit too soon and found himself pointing at the wall, which was a real shame. But managed to salvage 6th, so good effort.
From looking at the timing sheets, Ian, he had some absolute great pace, and his last but one lap of the race, he set what was provisionally the fastest lap of the race, but in that Porsche. But hats off to Marcus Law, who finished in 7th place in the end in his Lamborghini. On the very last lap, posted the fastest lap of the race, a 1:39.16. So, absolutely stunning effort from him. And like you said, I think there's definitely some figures to watch. I mean, Van der Wittenborn, he kept crawling back. He just ran out of laps at the end to catch Edmondson, and it's a shame that I think that could have been a really tight battle. But I think himself, Bedoya, and Edmondson, John Williams, who finished in 3rd, had a really strong performance. I think it's going to be Mark Johnson, who obviously carved his way through the field in his Ferrari. There's going to be definitely some standout drivers to watch in the coming rounds.
That's true, Tim, because John Williams, and also Dan Wittenborg, we didn't really talk about them that much, apart from like towards the end with Dan Wittenborg. But that is testament to their driving. It was just calm, fast driving, and Dan Wittenborg crept up on those first 2, and John Williams just did his thing, did it well, and a best lap of 1:39.49, which is only 0.3 slower than Marcus Law's fast lap of 1:39.16. So,
just looking at it, Ian, obviously you said before the race about the GC3 record holder around Hockenheim is Christian Engelhardt and his Hurricane. And from looking at it, Marcus Law went around about just over 0.3 of a second quicker than what Engelhardt did in real life. So absolutely brilliant drive. And these are just our rookies. And it makes you wonder, what are we going to see and experience for the feature race that's just coming up as we just move across between different servers. And James, I'm not sure if you're there, and it'd be good to get your thoughts as well.
Well, to be honest, I've just sat here and watched it on the iRacing UK Twitch channel, and to be honest, considering if they are rookies, the times weren't slow. There was good clean racing. Yeah, there was a few accidents and a few spins, but that's expected from anyone really. Even experienced drivers can spin and make mistakes. So
this is true, James, because I was watching the GT3 from Silverstone 500 today, and even there, these guys in the pro-ams and when the pro drivers were in it, they were getting on the power a little bit too soon, and there was a lot of spins there. So anyone can do it.
East around Hockenheim, mate, and I've been doing it in the GT3, and to be honest, it's not an easy track to get to grips with, and I think it's a great testament to them that there wasn't as many crashes as what was expected, really.
This is very true. It was, in general, a really clean race, and even that little nudge that we saw on camera from the M4, I mean, that was a genuine mistake. I think he just maybe got a little bit enthusiastic, and then the Ferrari closed the door on him probably a little bit too hard, but he came off best from that battle because the M4 really kind of didn't enjoy that at all. I'm not really sure where that M4 came. I lost track of the driver. Tim, can you remember the driver's name to that M4?
Unfortunately, I've just skipped across to the next server, mate, so I've lost the standings, unfortunately. But
not to worry.
I think obviously we've seen it, and I'm sure you see from obviously real life motor racing, and also even some of the top splits within iRacing have some of the most incident packs in terms of what you class as almost poor driving standards, or where there's such fine margins and people are pushing for gaps that aren't there. But so with the rookie class for this season, we're taking on obviously drivers who haven't raced within the league before, so there is a real mixed array of abilities within there, and it'll be great to see them obviously as they come through the ranks in coming seasons. And I think just showing from tonight, just what they can possibly go on to achieve.
Tim, can you talk us through what drivers will be going forward into the main event from this rookie race, having done so well here?
It will be obviously the Van der Bittenball will be emerging. I'm just having a quick little look down the list now. Bear with me one moment. Let's see if I can try and sort that. So, who have
sorry,
we
I'll
got?
put you on the spot a little bit.
No,
there, Tim.
don't worry about it.
Just so everyone can know, we're broadcasting onto Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. On YouTube, drop us a like and a subscribe if you're enjoying the action. For our viewers on Twitch, don't forget to give us a follow and receive notifications every time our broadcasts go live.
Tom Carroll, subscribe for 4 months. Thank you for that, kind sir. That's well appreciated. Obviously, I'll have a little look through the comments. Obviously, Tim Darracott, another one, subscribed for 4 months in a row now. Thank you for that one, Tim. Great name as well. And who else have we got? There was a few more earlier on. I believe one was, Bradford's P70. Subscribed for 2 months. Thank you for that one. And Newberton, another member of our commentary team, Chris Rowlands. He's subscribed with Prime. So thank you for those ones. And wow, obviously just sort of starting to pick up and move across, obviously, with the feature race that is coming up. So a little bit of change from last season. Obviously, we had it split out between Pro-Am, Am and Rookie, with the Pro and Pro-Am being together and Am and Rookie being together last season. That's changed slightly for this season. Obviously, we've got we've got Elite, Pro-Am, and a few of the rookies as well in there for the feature race. And all the drivers from rookie last season have been promoted up to upper category, so they will all now appear within the AM. Obviously, the pro drivers have been gone up to elite status, as well as a couple of others, a few adjustments. Obviously, Dominic Roberts, what a performance we saw from him last season within Pro-Am category, and he's made his way up to the top table in elite, and we saw Dom battling for wins and overall, not just within class. He really dominated the Pro-Am category. And a few other drivers to sort of look out for tonight. There's going to be so many. Lee Green, Sean Joby, such strong performances from those guys last season. And David Lowson, obviously one of the people himself, Lee Green, and it was Chris Hitchin, wasn't it? The Battle of Interlagos over second place. Obviously, they all took pit stops at different times. And then all of a sudden, came out together, met at turn three technically as it is after the back straight, and all had a bit of a coming together, and it's so unlucky from Lowson to drop down the standings from that. And
Go, look, you're not going to ruin my race. I'll let you go through, and I'll just watch you go off at the next corner. And that's exactly what happened in a couple of the races I've had this week. That's it.
It's racecraft, though, isn't it? It's just like seeing how erratic people are, and it's just like, yeah, that geezer's going to take me out soon. I'm going to let him through. He can take himself out.
Because some guy can't hit his brake pedal. You've got to use your brains a little bit. So, but I'm excited. I think it's going to be an interesting race. And hopefully we'll see some good close racing.
Oh, it's going to be that. It's definitely going to be close racing. I mean, because James Armstrong, who won last year, he's going to be looking to solidify that clearly. And Jonathan Hitchin, he's not going to let that go easily because he was really close to him on points. So Aidan Shadbolt, young lad, he's going to be a strong contender for the first, for the lead in the top split. So yeah, it's going to be exciting stuff. I'm going to stay on and watch. Definitely.
I don't blame you at all. I think it's definitely going to be a real interesting one in, and we've got qualifying currently away. Obviously, there's five minutes currently gone, so we've got about 9 minutes left to go of the session. Alberto Gravilli, what a start, man, we saw in season 1 and season 2. Especially, I remember that stunning performance and battle he had with James Armstrong at Imola in season 1. Obviously, return later during season 3 to Imola, so that'd be a real interesting one. But probably top of the timing sheets with Dominic Roberts and Owen Blythe, a new name to the league, and it's a Porsche lockout. It's now the top 4 as Paul Busby goes up into second place there. And obviously, Stuttgart's finest. Being done proud there, and only Jonathan Hitchin's Ferrari to separate, providing some sort of clarity as it's Germany all the way down to third, other than obviously Jonathan's Ferrari. I think the next non-German car, you have to look all the way down to Xander Hill in 30th place in his Lamborghini. So, yeah, I think, like you say, Ian, it's definitely going to be interesting. And yeah, thank you for your commentary during the first race, and might catch up with you after this one.
Thank you all. Enjoyed it a lot. Thanks for everyone for watching. Thanks for the drivers, of course, otherwise we wouldn't have had a good race. And over to you guys. Have a good call.
Thanks very much. So, James, we've got obviously not much longer left to go. We're nearly halfway through qualifying. Obviously, the drivers have 4 laps to complete, and spotted Nathan Willoughby sticking his McLaren on the 3rd row in 5th place there.
McKenna's just coming in for 1:37.8 as well. He's currently top as well. But as I said, the Porsches seem dominant at the moment, don't they, really?
It's, definitely a lot of dominance from all the German brands. You've got, obviously, the Porsche brand new to iRacing. You can see that's heavily populated within the timing sheets. We've got a fair few Ferraris down the bottom, but the beauty, obviously, with the GT3 category is you've got different engine formats. So it can be front, mid, and obviously rear with the Porsche. You've got different engine capacities and and also formats with those. So you've got, obviously, as we look currently to Andrew Jones in his V10 Lamborghini, obviously the flat 6 of the Porsche, and then V8s within the Merc, McLaren, Ferrari, BMW, and it just provides a complete great mix where all these cars, through the beauty of balance and performance, can be competitive with each other around different tracks.
Tim, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's going to win?
Oh, wow, you really have put me on the spot. Wow.
We're not even in qualifying yet, so we're going to lay these out now. So who's going to win?
I think, based historical, my money's going to be on James Armstrong. We saw a brilliant performance by him in season 1 where he came second behind Jonathan Hitchin. Obviously, he won last season, season 2. So I think within that Merc, I think he's definitely got to be a driver to watch. He drove a Lambo last season, so switch allegiances. And I think it's definitely going to be interesting. What about yourself? Go on. You put me on the spot. Where's your money?
All right,
that's the newbie.
Right, okay, so the first season in GT3 with iRacing UK, I'm Nathan Willoughby. I don't know. I just got excited by the McLaren. I like the McLaren. I'm just going to go with Nathan. I think Nathan's going to... he's only, what is he, 300ths of a second slower? And that's not much time, mate. There's not much time if you're tugging in. So I think I'm going to go Nathan. I'm going to go Nathan Willoughby. You heard it here first, chat. If I'm right, happy days.
So we've also got Tom McLaren here. Those two are the only McLarens within the field. Now, worth mentioning, obviously you'll see the drivers setting times within the timing tower on the left-hand side of the screen. You'll note just before their names and also their car numbers as well, they've all got different colours. Now, what does that relate to? Now, that relates to the class that they are in. So the light blue cyan colour, whatever you want to call it, that is for the rookie class. We've got the white, which is the elite, the pro, which is the pink, I believe, and then we've got orange, which is the AM. And so you just pick out, obviously that also then relates to the banners across the top of their windscreens, as we currently look at Mr. I think that's Tom Farrell. Yeah, there he is. So I always get himself and Tom Carroll mixed up because I was thinking, oh, it should be in a McLaren, but no, of course, it's Tom Farrell rather than Carroll. And yeah, you can see obviously from that number on the side of the car and also the banner across the top. That also relates to obviously their colours within the timing tower. Now we've got 60 drivers tonight, and wow, I think this is definitely going to be an interesting one for ourselves. And the drivers obviously have to take a pit stop mid-race, well, at any point during the race. They are, as part of the rules for the league, they do have to take one. And the race will be around about 28 laps tonight. They're all season, they're going to be around about 125 kilometres long. So it's going to be pretty consistent, obviously, depending on the length of track, depending on where the lap numbers will vary. So, James,
the pit stops, mate. I get so excited with pit stops. Partly because anything can happen.
We saw it last season. I mean, a couple of instances. Alberto, we mentioned earlier, Alberto Gravilli, currently in the Porsche tonight. He performed an absolutely brilliant undercut at Watkins Glen, and also at Watkins Glen as well we had with the overcut, which was Josh Wilson. And actually that brings me on to something nicely. Josh Wilson, congratulations on your new baby boy. Now, Josh they haven't named their child yet, which is slightly odd. Josh resides originally from Northamptonshire, but currently resides over in Sweden. And yeah, just wondering, chat, what do you think Josh should call his newborn son? Love to hear your suggestions within the chat, so fire those in now. And Al Neil, thank you on the 2-month streak with subscriptions. Thank you for that one. Medmo already coming in with Jeff as a suggestion. Jeff Wilson, that'll be an interesting one. So yeah, James, how much longer we've got left to go? About 3 minutes of qualifying left, and a quick warm up, and then we'll be lights out. So really tight at the top end of the field, and it's great to see some new names within there. Blythe, McKenna, joining the sort of the stalwarts of the league. Gravilli, Roberts, Messrs Armstrong, Paul Busby's up there, I did see, Jonathan Hitchin, Charlie Bebb, and Cy Anthony. Brilliant performance from him. He was in the AM category last season, and yeah, doing really well to be at 7th overall currently.
Some good times. There's some good times at the top. Gravilli and McKenna have been swapping. And I think that's going to be an exciting battle if they can get away. If they can qualify in the positions they're in, I think, you know, it's going to be definitely worth it. But at the moment, we've got a top 5 lockout of Porsches. Then we have Mercedes and another Porsche. And then we've got my man Nathan Willoughby, my choice. Hopefully he's going to go on and win it. Then we've got obviously Hitchin and his Ferrari. Charlie Beebe in the BMW? What do you reckon? Outside chance?
Yeah, we saw some brilliant performances from Charlie last season, and I think he could be, a bit of a dark horse and one to watch out for within the championship and within Elite. And yeah, I think he's definitely, obviously drove the BMW last season as well with that two-tone iconic livery. And yeah, it's just, I get the feeling that this could go absolutely anyway. Hex78, thank you for coming in with a subscription on Twitch. Bill Wiskins, Balthasar Wilson, what a name. You don't get much more manly than that. And Just spotting within the chat, obviously, if you want to drop in there who you're going to be cheering on. Newbolton, which I know is Chris Rowlands, he's cheering on Tom Carroll, doing it for Ezra, obviously his newborn son as well, who was born I think it's coming up to a month or two ago now, and 306 Rally, which I know you're cheering on for yourself, is saying, go on, David, in the Ghostbusters car. You can't fool me, mate. I know that's you. That's Dave Lowson, who always carries Ghostbuster liveries on his vehicles. So got around about 10 seconds left, and I think from looking at the timing sheets, I think it's only literally Tom Carroll out on track, but he's just parked it up into the pit lane. So just wait for it to click over, and then we can come up with what the grid order will be. Just waiting for it to click over now as the drivers head into the quick warm-up. Only 5 minutes, which will get them in around about 3 laps, and then the drivers will be taken to the grid. So not long to go.
It's going to be exciting.
Now, you excited, James?
Definitely. I am hopefully going to resolve my technical issues at this moment, but I am having a few. Hopefully it should be all good.
Don't worry.
Ready to go. Technical issues are a wonderful thing when you start something up. But so let's be realistic, right? These are the top drivers that the iRacing UK put on in the league in a GT3. You can only see excitement. You can only see excitement from the moment we go green to the moment we finish. It's just hopefully we can pick it all up, because I think there's going to be so much going on. I honestly believe we may miss some stuff here, Tim, but I think it's going to be an epic battle. I think it's going to be an epic one.
Well, yeah, with 60 drivers taken to the track, producer Sean's going to have his work cut out by trying to clicking around and trying to pick up all of the action. Thank you for the follow, Aru. That's Josh Wilson, I know. And it is the final. This is the obviously the feature race, so you tuned in just in time. And Josh, I don't know if you managed to catch the broadcast earlier. Suggestions for your son name? Jeff and Balthasar. So that's nice. Yeah, what a name.
What a name. That's a strong, powerful. I'm a magician, going to turn you into a frog name.
It is. Balthasar Wilson. What a name. And obviously love to hear from you guys, so drop your chats. I'm sure obviously we've got Rob Stanford, someone who we haven't mentioned so far. He is back. Where is Rob? I'm just trying to remember whether he's back in the Audi again this season. No, he's across to the Merc. I know the Sanfords normally come out in force, and we'll be cheering him on within the chat as soon as the race gets underway. Newton, another suggestion for a child's name, Andreas Wilson is better though. It could be a good shout. Nice with a Swedish connection there as well.
Balthasar is the winner, mate.
I think Balthasar is definitely the winner. I think Josh, we've named your child there, courtesy of the iRacing UK community. And thank you for everyone for tuning in. Lots of people watching tonight. As not long left to go. Wow, I think it's the drivers just take it to the warm-up. Just over 2 minutes left of the warm-up, and we're just going to bring up the grid shortly. There we go. James, do you want to run through the qualifying results for us?
So we've got Gravelli in pole, McKenna in second, Blythe in third, Busby in fourth, Dominic Roberts fifth, James Armstrong sixth, Cy Anthony seventh, Nathan Willoughby eighth, Jonathan Hitch in ninth, Charlie B 10th, Tom Tennant 11th, Damien Lovett 12th, Tim Darracott in 13th, Andrew Jones 14th, Matt Cox 15th, Xander Hill 16th, Chris Chatterton 17th, Daniel Taylor 18th, Gianni Peroni in 19th, sorry if I spoiled your name there, Bradley Halsey in 20th, and Richard Jones 21st. Do I carry it through, Tim?
Yeah, they've just dripped. There we go. So we're up to 21st. So we've got Richard Jones, like I say, in this Lamborghini in 21st. Contos in the BMW in 22nd. Bickley's Mercedes 23rd. Cheryl 24th. Gosling, Bamber, Pratt in 27th. Mercedes, Porsche. There's obviously a lot of Porsches in the grid tonight. Darryl Norkett back in his BMW for another season. John Watt in an Audi. Wiley in 30th in yet another Porsche. Adam Holloway takes the 31st in the Mercedes AMG. Ryan James Ward's BMW in 32nd, followed by Rob Sanford in 33rd in his Merc AMG. Chris Hitchin, he's back again. He switched across from BMW to Lamborghini Huracan in 34th place on the grid. Brown, Shackley, Fox, Neil Smith, Hyde, and Stringfellow take you all the way up to 40th place. Murray Luca, he's back in, switched across to the Mercedes AMG in 41st place. Murray, someone who took part in the Nürburgring 24 out in the Audi TCR with, so someone I know very well. We spent a lot of good fun and times together. Andreas Bozea, obviously after his performance, heads up into 42nd place. Austin William in his BMW 43rd. Masters on Rob Armstrong, father of James, who seems to perform well tonight. Sean Joe, some great performances from his Ferrari last season in his BMW 46. Chris Ed is third. Lowerson, Green, Smith, and we've got another version of the grid. We've got it's all going on here.
Two of it there, mate. We're two of it.
Yeah, we've got. There we go. Just round it off. Green, yeah. Dan Smith and his BMW in 50th. Wynn, Stonehouse, Truby, Hughes, G, Wheeler, all Ferrari drivers taking it to 56th place. And Franklin switched across from McLaren to AMG in 57th place. Tom Farrell in his Ferrari 58th. Trevor Davis back in his BMW in 59th. And Tom Carroll in 60th place rounds out the grid in the McLaren MP4-12C. The car which obviously Jeremy Clarkson coined as sounding like a fax machine for its model, make and number. So drivers just to take it to the grid, just waiting for the last few, and they're going to head out around the safety car. Not too far to go around the track. It pretty much just takes you around the stadium section, and then they will be away. Just having a look at the grid. I think Cy Anthony hasn't made it yet. We're just waiting for the lights to go out, so hopefully he can make it to the grid. There we go. He is. Just as all the drivers start to move into their event, and we are slowly away. Here we go.
With me, Tim. I've got some issues where I'm not actually seeing the camera. Just bear with me.
Okay, no worries. Don't worry. We've got it all on hand here, so don't worry too much. So yeah, just heading round the last part of the stadium section, and then of course the safety car, the 911 Porsche 911 safety car, will be heading in, and then we'll get ready to head off. So not long left to go now, and this will be the start. There we go. Safety car is in. Get ready, because in 1, 2, GT3 for season 3 is go. And what a start there from Gravili, heading straight out and really strong. And he's got McKenna and Blythe right behind him, two of the new drivers to the championship. But Paul Busby, he's not far behind. But here comes McKenna. He's going to lunge on the brakes at Gravili, and he's gonna. It looks like he's gonna have the move done, but no. Here comes Gravili. He's fighting back. They've got contact. We got contact with Blythe, and no, he's dropping down through the field. I think he clipped Charlie Bebb on the way through there, but just he's just waiting for him to get going again. We're going to cut to a replay, hopefully, as I think I'm having some slight issues here with everything.
Yeah, he's gone round on the inside of the moment. He's gone round. It doesn't look like he had contact. I didn't see any contact. I think he may have just lost it under putting too much power down on that one.
Oh, we've got a real... we've got the hairpin's turned into a car park. Well, the car's pointed the wrong way, and everyone had to wait while he ejected himself out of the session and took to tow to the pit lane. And, well, it's as you predicted. It's all action here at iRacing UK League GT3s, and what a start.
That was a bit mental at the beginning. McKenna's still out in front. Busby second, Armstrong still in third, Roberts fourth, Blythe fifth, Hitchin sixth. My man Nathan Willoughby's in 14th. Come on, Nathan! Put the accelerator down.
He's definitely making the places up, and it's just the field start to head back through as my system decides to try and sort itself out.
Yeah, I've got to say,
James?
mate, I'm flicking between cameras at the moment, so a lot of what I'm seeing is what is off stream at the moment, because my cameras.
Stuart Bickley has come off track somewhere further down the field, and hold on, just having to reconnect, producer Sean. It's all crashed on me. Yeah, so Bickley's just spun in T1 there.
Yeah, he's just gone round it completely on his own. There was nobody else around him. He just went completely straight off coming through turn one. But was that the pass of the hairpin from Armstrong? Did Armstrong go through Busby at the hairpin?
Yes, yeah, he's got past Paul Busby for second place. These two, no strangers to one another. We saw them battle all the way to the last corner in season 1. And, you know, for pretty much the whole race around Spa, and they just literally weren't giving each other an edge. James backed off, obviously, to the last stage of the lap before Paul, unfortunately, just losing it after struggling with the tyres for the whole race, and was so unlucky. But here we go, we've got McKenna out in front, 1.3 seconds ahead of Busby, followed by Armstrong and that Mercedes, splitting up the Porsches. Dom Roberts in 4th, Blythe in 5th, another 2 more Porsche drivers. John Hitchin up to 6th place now in that Ferrari, followed by Tennant, Labette in their Porsches, and Tim Darracott in that Mercedes in 9th place. Matt Cox is down, it rounds out your top 10, another Porsche driver. Wow, we've got 7 of the top 10 are all Porsches.
It goes to show what's going to be the strongest car this year. Do you reckon that's it? Everybody's going to change over, or are they going to stay in the same cars?
No, so the drivers do get penalty points for changing cars. So it's really advised against them. Obviously, the Porsche being brand new to iRacing for this season. And a lot of the drivers giving it a whirl. Obviously, here we go. We've got Roberts here hard onto the brakes, and having a bit of contact with it, pushing Armstrong out wide there. And this looks like Dom Roberts. He's got the move done. He's had to get his elbows out. Here comes Armstrong. He's right on his bumper, weaving left and right. No, got contact. It looked like there was a little nudge there. And that sent Roberts off into the wall.
No!
Armstrong's through, but look right behind him. They've got John Hitch in 5th place in that Ferrari, that gold and yellow Ferrari we saw, the same livery last season. Armstrong really struggling. He's got Blythe with him in that Porsche company in the middle of that sandwich. Armstrong runs a bit wide. There's cars left, there's cars right. Here goes Blythe again. Armstrong's going to run it around the outside. That's going to compromise it, but he's going to be on the inside for the next 2 corners. Here we go. Armstrong, he's up the inside. He's retained that place. But here comes Blythe. He's on the fight back. He's going to have him on the switchback. They're going to come side by side, coming out of the last corner. But don't discount Jonathan Hitchin right behind them. And the whole train right behind him. He's got Tennant in that Porsche, in that orange Trenton Porsche right behind them. Now they head out round turn 1. They're going to come down to this big braking area, James. And this could go absolutely anywhere. Hitchin's heading to the inside. And I think he's under attack from Tennant, but Tennant's got to be careful because there's a swarm of cars behind him as well. And just by running wide and trying to attack another car could end up costing you a place.
Yeah, it's going to come down into Parabolica, Tim, and I think Armstrong should have it up the inside.
I think they're going to be like Noah's Ark coming down into turn 6 hairpin. They're going to be 2 by 2. So we've got Blythe and Armstrong the first to head round. We've then got Tennant who's managed to get the move done. But now this is Richard Jones mid-pack in that green front and rear black central Lamborghini. He's got past Daniel Taylor's managed to get his BMW past him. But here we go. Look, it's all happening at the front. And Armstrong and Blythe. Literally nothing to separate these two, James.
Nothing at all. I think he's literally 0.2 back. He's going to have a go. He's going to go for it, isn't he? He's got to.
He's got to, but then we've still got 25 laps to go. It's
that patience thing we were talking about earlier coming into stadium. I think it's going to be. If he's going to sit behind him, he should sit behind him to the end of the start-finish straight. Try and get him down after the. Into the chicane or down into the Spitker hairpin. I think that's probably his best options.
Well, You say that, but we know from previous seasons, Armstrong and also John Hitchin down in 6th place, the back of this 4-car training, that green, yellow, and red Ferrari. They all, know how to get their elbows out and aren't afraid to go for a move as Hitchin just sizing up Tennant there in that 911 Porsche, and Tennant had to go a little bit defensive there. It looks like it might have potentially compromised his exit a little bit. That Ferrari is really strong in a straight line, so he's going to use, as the cars head round Parabolica, we arrive on top of Jonathan Hitchin now. But look ahead, there's Armstrong going onto the inside, but I don't think he's going to have the time to be able to get the move done, or is he?
Oh, it's got wide.
Where this is going to go. We've got action. Well, it's literally from 3rd to 6th place, but now they seem to be separating out as 2 little packs, and they're absolutely all over the track, James.
Armstrong's got to be careful coming into stadium. He's only got to miss one little braking point, and he's going to hit Blythe straight away. I think they've got to be careful. I think Armstrong's got to be patient, otherwise it's just going to end badly for both of them. He's got the run of him. I wouldn't be diving up there. I would literally just sit behind him, wait patiently, get back out onto the straights.
Oh, you said about wasted basically. There goes Hitchin lunging at the inside and rubbing doors with Tennant there. And I think he's got the move done. Yeah, slightly behind Tennant now. Although they've got someone running wide in the background, that's a Porsche there. That's Damien Lebet, one of the new drivers to the league, and he's lost so many places from it. I think he's dropped all the... I'm trying to have a little look at it. Yeah, he's got so many places, all from 7th place.
Armstrong's got to run.
Yes, doesn't he? Here we go. It's not going to get him done, but I think it's all about, for the drivers now, like you say, maintaining a decent line out of here, getting a good exit and trying to get that run, utilising the slipstream round Parabolica. So now come round for the 6th time. We're on lap 6, and what a start already.
It's been action to action, Tim, and considering we're trying to keep up with it all, Armstrong is putting in a stellar performance. He just can't get past him, can he? He just can't keep it.
Starting to cut across you here. James has got Lebet. He's back on the attack and trying to recover places after running wide, which cost him dearly. Just getting those elbows out a bit on your man Nathan Willoughby's McLaren there. Willoughby not exactly a slouchy himself, and he's trying to run it around the outside. We've got 4 cars all very close to one another, and looks like Willoughby's going to get the place back, is he? Yes. Lebet just having to concede there and slot himself in, but he's got, I think there's that Pironi right behind him in that Lamborghini, and Dan Taylor's BMW. I mean, let's look at the timing, James. Like, literally, there's tiny gaps up and down the field.
There's battles all over the place, Tim, isn't there?
So it looks like Tom Farrell off camera has come off the track a couple of times, Stuart Brown and John Watt as well. So not too sure what's happened there. Trevor Davis making up a place, passing John Watt for 44th place. Here we go, we've got a replay of Farrell now. Let's see if we can try and pick that one up.
Where's he coming? He's coming into Spitzcurve hairpin, isn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, he got it. Oh, it's on the curve on the outside, and he literally just spun it. And unfortunately for Tommy, he was just sat in the middle of the track with somebody coming around in front of him. It was unlucky on that one.
Definitely. So we are back now. So with 7 laps done, we've got McKenna, Busby, Blythe, Armstrong, Hitchin make up your top 5. Tennant, Darracott, Bebb, Jones, and Cox all the last 2 making up places to round out your top 10. But obviously, Damien Roberts. I'm with so many drivers this season, getting my names mixed up there. Roberts, he's going to be one to watch, Dom Roberts, and I'm sure he won't finish down in 12th place. He'll definitely be starving his way back through the field.
He's up to fighting. Oh no! Willoughby's in the barrier.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, he's so close for him.
I think it was Roberts behind him, wasn't it?
I think so. Some of a couple of, I think the gremlins are out for all of us tonight, and
no, I'm having to see it. Was it Roberts behind him?
I think it may well be.
I think he was, wasn't he? All the timing tower was behind him, wasn't he? Oh, unlucky Nathan Willoughby. Commentator's curse there, Tim.
Yeah, I think so. It's always a bit of a danger. It's always a danger. We've done it so many times on the channel where myself and Nick, obviously last season, and yeah, just catching, saying that while someone's doing for them, seem to almost instantly fall off the track.
I'm sorry, Nathan. I apologise now for cursed you in the process. So, but we've got Chatterton's having a good run as well on Cox. If we can catch up with that, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, he is. We've got him on the action on screen now, I believe. Yeah,
he's literally right up behind him.
Himself. Just looking across the chat, we've got a slight lull and able to catch our breath while I say that. There's Chatterton under attack there. He's got Dom Roberts with him for company right behind, and we've got Lebet ahead of them there, getting very up close and personal with the sausage curb, and he's on the attack, right on board with him now. You can see in the rear view camera the drivers absolutely all over the back of them, and we've got Matt Cox there rounding out our top 10 currently. He's got Chatterton under 2 tenths behind him. Dom Roberts around about 5 tenths behind Matt Cox, and Porsche. Last season, was all about it was the season of the Ferraris. This season, it seems to be the season of the Porsches. Obviously, with we mentioned being that it's iRacing. Good. Well, we haven't mentioned it all stream yet. These shout out to our friends over at trackcams22.com. They're giving these brilliant camera angles that we're able to provide to you to view what's been absolutely brilliant racing so far, James.
It's been very wheel to wheel. We're trying to catch as much of it as we possibly can, Tim.
Here we go. So we're currently right on board with McKenna. Out in first place, he's got Paul Busby behind him. Paul, I know he's recovering from a bit of a football injury, so I'll now be chuffed with his performance, and currently up in second place overall. He's around about 1.6 seconds back, but then he's got a big gap to Blythe behind him. So, knowing Paul, he'll be just trying to catch up with McKenna as best possible. Obviously, our top 3 is a Porsche lockout, so it all comes down to setup and maybe a bit of setup and mostly driver ability, James.
It is a bit Bradley House, but what was going on with Lobert at the back? He had a big wiggle on coming into the stadium. Yeah, he just slowed down a little bit.
I think, he's just come off track somewhere, so we'll see if we catch a replay. Bradley Hulse, he's currently top in class at the moment, driving in 17th place overall, and he's just having a little look. I don't think he's got anyone in class anywhere near him. Bradley, we've seen for last season, he took the Ferrari last season, he switched across to Porsche in that black, yellow and pink Porsche. And Andrew Jones, it looks like he's also come off track. He was, I think he was spreading around about 7th, I think it was one stage, James. So
yeah, I believe so.
He's not anymore.
Curse, isn't it? Again.
Oh, there we go.
It's that first corner again, and you've got to be a little bit careful. You've got to give it a little bit of respect to what it is. Yeah, it's fast flowing, but if you get it wrong, it just shows. Like Bradley, as we've just seen then, just went straight round.
Yeah, from Jones. Yeah, it costs you detailing in that. Yeah. Jones had it in somewhere, so maybe obviously where drivers might have spent their tyres a little bit too harshly, trying to make out places where obviously 60 car grid and cars absolutely everywhere, and just trying to make it places and maybe use too much of their tyres too early on in the race.
Are we looking at pit stops, Tim? Do you reckon? What?
Yes.
What do you reckon is going to be the run?
Well, historically, the drivers within GT3s tend to take as maximum amount of fuel as they can and pit very close to the end. But having said that, I mean, normally you would try and come out in some clear air, you know, maybe take an early stop, trying to get the undercut, James. But if you just look at the track map on the right-hand side of the screen, there are cars absolutely everywhere. So you can't really come out into any fresh air whatsoever. So I'm not too sure. There. No, there's just cars absolutely everywhere. So I think we're going to probably see from drivers maybe come in maybe one lap early, potentially, and maybe not. I think a lot of them probably just stay out as long as possible. As we cried on board with Joshua Pratt in his 911. He's got Stuart Bickley in his Mercedes right behind him there. You see him filling up the rear view camera. And, well...
We've got the leaders coming into back markers as well, and we've got Busby's right behind him. So this if McKenna doesn't get through these back markers cleanly, Busby's got an opportunity. I think he's got a good opportunity.
I mean, with such a small track, it's almost going to be like multi-class racing, where the back markers could play a large part of the story tonight in our race results. And McKenna, he is pulling away from Busby. Gap around about 1.9 seconds, 1.8 seconds. It's fluctuating slightly, but just looking at lap times last time around, and there's only McKenna 2/10 quicker than Busby, but hardly anything to separate these two guys. Just looking a little bit further back, Owen Blythe just running a little bit quicker, and but interestingly, the strongest man out of the top 5 lap time wise, one of his James Armstrong in 4th place in that Mercedes.
Oh, 1:38.42 in here. You're just looking at the map, Tim. There's a gap opening up. If the leaders can get a far enough gap, there's a gap opening up between 9 and 10, and then you've got a small little gap on 11. And then you've got 20. The next one after that, really, you're looking at aim for is 22 to 23 position-wise, because that's the only other real gaps on the map. There's nowhere else these guys can plan their pit stops to come out. And if they come out, they're going to be in traffic. It's how they're going to deal with that traffic. I think that's going to be the issue.
I think, like you say, it's all about traffic management. You know, they may as well be police officers or highways officers with the amount of traffic they're going to have to try and manage. And
Matt Cox getting a run as well, haven't we?
We got just currently looking at the battle for, I think this between Gosling and Taylor. I think there. But, yeah, we've got
Gosling's hugged the inside on the hairpin. Taylor's brave enough to carry on riding it all the way through. Obviously, I'm slightly down. I've still got a little bit of camera issues, so if I'm talking about something that's already been seen, please make me aware. Taylor's taking the inside.
I have to tell you, you never know.
Yeah.
No, we got. There we go. So we're just looking
Jake Terrell.
Yeah, we're just looking at Jake Terrell as my software decided to crash itself yet again, which is always handy. Seems to be on a complete mad one tonight. Apologies about that. So yeah, Jake currently in 18th position.
19th. He's just got him right on one of the corners.
Sorry about that. I was just looking at my timing sheet while that was sorting itself out, and yeah, he's not about obviously one of the newer drivers to the league, and doing well for himself. I think, you know, in the top third of races. And nothing to be ashamed of, I think, really, considering.
So it's Busby had an off. He's just dropped to 2.5 seconds back. We've got, who's that? Lobear going off again. Was that Lobear in the background?
It was.
Yeah, Lobear was spinning down the grass strap. Whether or not he held it is a different matter. But
he's headed to the pit, so let's take a look what happened and see if we can try and pick it up.
He runs wide.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Oh, he's fish tailing.
Oh no! That's it gone.
Oh, just that barrier. You can just see it coming, can't you? Imagine Lobear in the car just going, no! Yes, straight into it.
I know, because that's true. Once you're on the grass, it's so slippery. And we've got Darryl Norkett here. He's got Bradley Holst's Porsche 911 right behind him for company. Around about 2/10 of a second, separating these two drivers, battling over 14th and 15th place, respectively. They got Peroni ahead of him in his Lamborghini, but he's about 2.5 seconds up the road. So,
McKenna's in the pits. I think McKenna's just gone in.
Yeah, so that's our leader in, and so Busby are looking to put down some strong laps now to really get ahead.
Yeah, sorry to cut across the Tim. We've got Blythe and Armstrong as well. They're not very far apart. Unless are they still going round?
Yeah, they're still battling. They're still battling, and look, McKenna dropping down to 13th place, 14th place here, but it's going to be where is he going to emerge within the traffic? I mean, with so many drivers, naturally, of course, you're going to drop all the way down. He's come out. I'm just trying to take a look at my timing screen as I think that's decided it's going to crash again.
It's coming out in 21st, Tim. 21st.
There we go. Yeah, there we go.
So he's coming out in the battle. There's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars with him there. So he's come out in the middle of a pack.
Somewhere off Cramer and Armstrong's had a bit of an incident there, James. We'll cover that.
It's in the stadium, last corner now.
Okay. There we go.
Save the low there, look.
Yeah.
Hit the gravel. See you later. Time to go. Barrier. His livery looks nice.
It does, yes.
Nice livery,
one thing has to be said about the community. A lot of the drivers, generate their own liveries, and we have some absolutely brilliant efforts and, really stunning ones. And Steve, what's Steve's surname? I'm trying to think. He comes with absolutely brilliant ones. And
he stayed up, Tim. Sorry, cut across you there, dude. Busby's gone round again. He's gone round again. So is he either? Is he fuel managed? Is he?
Well, I think
he's going to manage that.
Well, it's not too bad. Obviously, he's got enough fuel to take him pretty much towards the end. However, I think McKenna's only made it. He's made it one spot. He's currently down in. No, he's still down in 21st. And there you go. As Bamber heads to the pits. So, I think it's going to be all the work to do here. But Busby, why isn't it a bit of fresh air and looking to try and make hay while the sun shines? Let's have a little look at the replay of Busby as he runs wide. Oh, he's mounted the sausage there and ridden it like a pro. No, I'm not even sure what that means there. Making that what you will. It's
just explain that comment to us, please, to the viewers at home, mate. What do you mean he rode it like a pro?
Well, I think it's just slid across it there elegantly.
We don't know about.
Where it's the car's bottomed out there, and obviously, we weren't last season because he was in pro category. He's in elite this season, so he's ridden it elitely. There we go. That's what I meant. Honestly.
I forget. He's got about 40 to go. No, yes, he's got one again.
He's carrying on for yet another go, Paul Busby, and got Peroni here. He's currently down in 12th position in that Lamborghini, the highest of our Lamborghini runners, and not too many of them this season. Actually, no, so that's a few more further down the field, but currently flying the flag for Lambo, and he's got Gosling and Taylor ahead of him, not too far ahead in that silver Merc AMG and the red BMW of Dan Taylor there, and I think it'd be interesting to see what he can get done. But I think, look, listen, Tim Darragh here, he's got Charlie Bebb right behind him. These two not too far apart, but they've got Rob Armstrong behind him in that flaming, he's a lap down in that Mercedes with the flames up the side of it, so he'll just be sitting behind these two. I know Robbie's, he's a gentlemanly driver. He won't get involved in this battle, having raced with these guys for the last couple of seasons. But Darragh just running a little bit wide there, and these two climbing the positions as a couple of drivers taking the pit stop. We've got Masters currently in the pits currently, and that's elevated a few drivers above them. But Busby, let's see if I think he's going to carry on again. Is he? Yeah, he's going to carry on yet again for another time around. And just looking down at McKenna, he's not really making major progress. I know that's slightly hampered. He's he's gonna be. Let's have a little look at the timing sheet. Yeah, pretty much everyone ahead of him hasn't stopped yet. A couple of people starting to come in. We've got Tennant and Cox coming into the pits right now. So there'll be places that he's able to make up from that one. Gosling also heading to the pits. So I think the pit window, James, is well and truly officially open now.
I think it is. And it's now just, as you say, it's about space management and where you're going to come out. And how are you going to deal with the traffic when you come out? Because as you say, with so many different classes, you've got to rely on the guys in front to let you through if they're slower than you. It's just whether or not how accessible. You know, it's hard with anybody in different classes, Tim, because they're having their own race. You know, if there's two of the same class right behind each other, they're having their own race. They're going to reluctantly want to let you through. You know, and that's the chance of going into the pits and coming out is wherever you come out. That's the opportunity you've got. Being your cards dealt with in front of you. It's how you manage it.
Exactly, and as we can see from the track map, there's literally no space on the track currently. You know, there's hardly any windows for you to try and take a pit stop early, maybe, or play a bit of tactics, and you know, find yourself in some air.
But where are we gonna find it? Where would you look at that map and go, I know, I'm gonna go in now because there's a gap? There's just nothing on there. All I would look at is where there is the lowest pack of cars, Tim. Where can I get out with the lowest pack of cars?
Well, I think Busby's showed up. He's coming into the pits. As Darracott and Beb head to the pits. There was a Porsche on the inside there. Not too sure who that was. Provisionally, James Armstrong. He is your leader. We've got high of activity. Busby, Blythe, Hitchin, Darracott, Beb, all heading to the pits. It's incredibly slow. It always feels as you head through the pits. And now let's keep an eye on to McKenna. Let's have a look. Let's see where he is. Currently showing up in 14th, but where's he going to come out? Has Paul Busby done enough? Busby's
out.
He's out. Let's have a look. He's behind him. He's not been able to do enough. So McKenna's managed
in the middle as well.
He has Chris Hitchin. I don't think. No, he's not. He's him and everyone above him has not taken their pit stops yet. So those guys obviously, hence why they are currently ahead. Obviously Armstrong, Chellerton, Taylor, Rodney, Bickley, and Hitchin. Sorry.
They didn't get McKenna. McKenna got past him, didn't he? So McKenna's obviously had a better run after his pit stop, and he's come out in front of Busby, and Busby's got it all to do now. All we got to hope is will Hitchin go into the pits and give Busby clean air to chase down?
He probably will too. Chris Hitchin, he's a fair racer, obviously brother to Jonathan Hitchin. He's not too far behind, down in 10th place, and yeah, I think Chris is fair. I think, you know, having raced obviously last season in the league, I'm sure you'll probably, you know, won't prove too much of an issue for letting, you know, Paul go past or holding him up. But I imagine this, you know, there we go. I was just about to see. I imagine we'll start to see all of the top drivers now just come into the pits. And right on you, we've got Armstrong and Chadson, Bernie. I imagine Taylor, mate, welcome into the pits as well now. So our top three currently on track are all heading into pit lane.
Hitchin's got in, give Busby free air.
There we go. That's time for Busby to put the hammer down and let's see, really close that gap up. Let's see what he can do. Last time around, McKenna was around about nearly 6 seconds on the last lap quicker. Obviously, Busby coming out of the pits, so that playing a part of that. So, be interesting next time around just to compare lap time to see how those two guys are getting on. There's Dom Roberts getting past Johnson there for 9th place. I think that's pretty much everyone is taking their pit stops now. James.
Sean Jones just had a crash as well. He's had an off somewhere as well. Let's just see if we can have a look at that. See what's happened. Sean Joe crashed.
Did he? Up here on mine, I'm sure. Producer Sean will work his magic and find that one. Add up out the archives for us.
Busby. Busby and Sanford. Busby went to go to the inside of Sanford. Sanford come back on him on the outside, and now Busby's got clear again. I'm not quite sure what Sanford was up to on that one.
No, I'm not too sure either. I think Sanford that we experienced, he's no slouch himself. He really dominated within. He was rookie last year, I believe, from memory, and really absolutely dominated that category. And yeah,
it just seemed a very weird move when Busby went by to kind of throw it down on the outside. I was a little bit surprised that he kind of went for that.
Probably just trying to carry a bit of momentum and not lose too much.
I think that's probably right.
So Busby, he currently finds himself 3.8 seconds behind McKenna, which after the pit stops, it's around about 2 seconds different. We've got 9 laps to go.
Blythe's just gone in the pits as well, Tim.
There we go. That's
got Gravelli climbing. He's climbing all over the back, isn't he, as well? Who's he up? Cheryl? He's climbing all over the back of Cheryl.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so Gravelli's all over the back of Cheryl. Yeah. Gravelli was obviously in first, wasn't he? And then got spun round.
He was. It's so unfortunate for him after putting in an absolutely stunning performance during qualifying, and so unlucky.
Yeah, he's getting. Do you know what? If we can stay with this Gravelli, it's got a nice run down on Cheryl coming down into Parabolica. It'd be interesting to see if he can stay close enough to him.
Well, you look at. Here we go. We've got feeling now. To head round Parabolica.
Yeah, he's got the toe. He's got the toe.
It's Porsche on Porsche. Cheryl's on defensive. Here he goes. He's gonna have the work to do here, James. But
is he gonna come back? Is he gonna come back?
He's gonna run it right around the outside off track. He's gonna pick up off track for that one, but that's not. He's not gonna be too worried about that one. It's just about maintaining onto the back of Cheryl. And then he's gonna
be inside.
Oh, this is so tight, but look at that lap. There's got the Lamborghini right behind him of Chris Hitchin, and he's going to be rubbing his hands together with glee as these two battle. He's closing the gap up, and it's surely going to be right on board now. It's going to look to pick up the scraps from these guys. As it almost feels like, with a racing, door to door, wing mirror to wing mirror. Anything can happen as they come round this first part of the stadium section here. And there's only really one line through here. It's about maintaining, just getting your best exit out as possible, James. And he's come round the last corner now.
Yeah, coming down the start-finish straight going into the second corner. We've got Hitchin right up the back of Cheryl. Cheryl's right out the back of Gravelli. It's going to be interesting on the run down the Parabolica. It depends on what exit Cheryl can get out of the hairpin at the bottom here on the run down the Parabolica. It'd be interesting to see if he can stay close enough to Gravelli. Is he going to get?
Definitely is. Ooh,
Hitchin got a better run than Cheryl got though.
He's going to be. The Lamborghini isn't the best in terms of acceleration in comparison. So it's.
Yeah, but look at Hitchin on the inside.
Here we go. Outside. Here we go. This could go absolutely anywhere. It's
going anywhere. We've got Hitchin on the way. Cheryl's on the run down to Gravelli. It's going to go. This is going to end up. I think Gravelli's broken a little bit of a gap. I think he's got a little bit of a gap coming in the stadium. I think he's now sitting there saying, right, that's it, Cheryl. You can deal with Hitchin. I'm off, son. He's got his boots on and he's gone a little bit, hasn't he? I think he's got that little bit of a gap.
Yeah, it looks like he's almost like
second, isn't it? Second, 1.8 out, or 1.1 out.
So, looks like Rob Sanford's had a bit of an incident somewhere off camera and had to head to the pits from it. Unfortunately, Rob being probably a bit disappointed with his performance tonight, and after we've seen great things from them, which is currently watching the battle between Danny Gosling and Blythe over 11th place, and Porsche versus Mercedes, but it looks like he's under attack here. Blythe heading to the inside and getting the move done in that Porsche, but look at the muck from Gosling. He's fighting back, and now he's going to have the slipstream round Parabolica and down to the hairpin.
And in the Spitzkerf hairpin.
He's
on the outside again. The problem is you can't take that outside line round that hairpin. It just throws you off. You've got to brake late and look at the cutback coming back.
Oh, you have. It's the only way to do it.
It's the only way to do it. That's the only way you're going to get that run down into the stadium section is cut back on them and take the inside. But then again, it leaves Gosling on the outside for the next one. So
it's just which way do you go, really, isn't it? It's so tight and so tough for the drivers, isn't it? And
it's hard, isn't it? It's hard for him.
It's only really two sort of clear overtaking places, but where really wide out onto the curb there, and wow, I was just having a little bit look down the timing sheets. There's got loads of battles going on. I think quickly in Sharky, Carl Sharky, somewhere I mentioned too much in his Porsche. He's right behind Bamber there, and so yeah, they've got battles absolutely up and down the field as we try and bring as many to them as possible to you. Here we go, we've got Bamber
behind him, isn't he?
He is, yeah. You got so Bamber's Porsche, Simon Bamber's Porsche, followed by Sharky's Porsche, and then we've got Stuart Bickley in his Mercedes right behind him, and then yeah, this free car train, and then the battle just behind them of what we were watching between Hitchin, Cheryl, and Gravelli.
Hitchin's run wide, got Cheryl gaps.
Okay. It's so tight, this, James. We've got. It's where do you look? You look at the timing sheets for 5 seconds, split second to see what's going to be happening, and then look back and there's another massive battle ensuing.
Yeah, there's something else happening as well, isn't there? The road with Sharky now is it's got Bickley on the inside, isn't he?
Yes, he's got him for company there, and
I thought Bickley would have been I thought Bickley was going to go up the inside and have a brave exit. He was going to push it through.
I thought it was as well. It's just so close between these three drivers.
Haven't you?
Yeah, there's just hardly any way to turn for them, and it's just so cutthroat. And I think we're going to see this all season long, where drivers are just, you make one mistake and it could end up costing you places.
I've just had a look back through the time screen. We've just had Colin Wind crash flashing up on my screen, and Joshua Pratt's crashed as well. So it'd be interesting to see if we can catch up, and see what happened to them.
Okay, we've got Josh. There we go. Here's Pratt. See what happened.
Yeah.
He's just run right. Nothing too major. Go. Oh, so Bradley Holt's having a bit of an incident there, spinning one. Yeah.
It's the same thing, isn't it? Look. Too much go, takes the outside, round to go.
That's tricky. You almost trying to almost straighten the corner up.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. It's trying to take as much as that inside curb as possible, but then it's a real gamble because it can cost you so dearly.
Problem is as well is if you have one tyre on the curb, one tyre on the track, you're off balance anyway, and as soon as you're hitting the throttle, one of them's not going to be working correctly, and it's just going to kick you around anyway. The only good thing is that obviously he didn't go around like everybody else and straight into the barrier, but he's a lucky boy, really. Could have ended quite badly.
So we've got a freeway battle here over 19th place. Sorry, we've got Jake Cheryl's Porsche, Chris Hitchens' Lambo. They've got David Contos in his BMW behind them, right? Keeping them company where they see a bit battling. It's allowed Contos to catch up to them and join in the fun, and he'll be looking to pick up the scraps as Gravelli was earlier. Hitchin was earlier from the Cheryl and Gravelli battle.
Yeah.
Here we go. We've got that's Rob Armstrong. Sorry, it's not Rob Armstrong. It's Darracott just given a bit of a pump there. He's racing really hard with Dom Roberts. Dom, as we mentioned earlier, it was Gary Truby. I think it was there previously. It's taken a while to adjust so many new liveries this season. But here we go. Darracott, both got incredibly defensive, and someone's going to lose out dramatically. But here we go. They could both end up losing a place. There's Chatterton right behind them. And how much can he capitalise potentially? And wow, there's literally nothing to hardly split these two. And Darracott just lost out there, obviously slightly, as they went round the hairpin, and He's had to concede the place to Roberts, but he's got Charlie Bebb behind
him. We're free to go as well.
We are. We've got...
Roberts had a great recovery. He went off track, didn't he, when he was 6th place? Managed to get back.
He did, yeah. I think he dropped around about to... I think
another 30.
Yeah, I would have said around about there, and he's... I think he definitely has the ability to claw his way back. We saw it last season where he did have a couple of hits. I think it was Spa where he dropped right to the back, and then all of a sudden, within category, all of a sudden he was back up at the front, within a few laps, fighting for the in-class victory. So he's definitely got pedigree, Dom Roberts, and but he's got Charlie Bebb and Derek Cox behind him, and those two not exactly any slouches themselves. So with 3 to go, you've got McKenna still up front, Paul Busby in the 2nd place, Armstrong rounds out your top 3. You've got Jonathan Hitchin in his Ferrari in 4th place, Tom Tennant's Porsche in 5th place. Dom Roberts, who obviously we've just been talking about, he's down in 6th place with his Porsche. Tarakot 7th, Charlie Bebb in his BMW with the same livery he was running last year. We've got Matt Cox, Chris Chatson is in 9th place, Matt Cox. It is both Porsche drivers in 9th and 10th place respectively. And Lee Green's had a bit of an incident off camera somewhere as well. We'll see come to him. Bradley Holt's chat wanted to note let's have a little look. Where's our Bradley? 23, I think, is he? Yeah, I think it's 23. Wow. So 3 laps to go. Not long left now at all. And
where's it going to be? Where's it going to be on our last laps? Are we still at Hitchin and Cheryl? They're very close.
We have indeed. And I'm really not sure. We've seen it. We saw it last season. We saw it in season 1. This could go absolutely any way. And a bit of smoke there. I don't know if you caught that. I think Darren Norkey's had a couple of incidents. Very close succession. Let's see what happened to him. Just bumped across the curb. The curb's just catching him out. So unlucky from Norkett there. It's a shame because we've seen some great performances from Norkett in recent seasons, and he'll be disappointed with that one. Now back to your battle there between Roberts at the front of this train, Darracott in 7th place, Bebb and Chris Chatterton coming along to join the fun at the rear of this 4-car train. And I think it's definitely one of the closest battles on track. Currently, we've got drivers, nose to tail up and down the field, but this is definitely the most exciting one as Bebb runs a little bit wide in his BMW there. Bebb in that yellow, green and black, and then on one side, and then blue and black. Also camo styled livery on the other.
It's probably really wide, Tim. He's got Chris Shadow now climbing all over the back of him.
Bebb definitely, he's on the defensive now, and it's almost reminiscent of the battle he had with Aidan Shadbolt last season and at Interlagos, where Bebb had him in his mirrors and having to jinx left and right, and unfortunately ended up coming together. But there we go, we've got the white flags where we are now onto the final lap, James. Here we go.
Shadow's got. Shadow was going to take a run.
I think Norkic is coming out of the pits in the background there, and wow, this could go any way, really. They've got obviously down into turn 2, hard onto the brakes. Now, it's what exit they can get off there, and the momentum they carry
out front of that is Tim and Roberts as well. Tim and Roberts on the run down the Parabolica.
Roberts, Darracott in that Mercedes, he's got the slipstream. He's probably in the more favourable position, but he doesn't quite seem to be close enough to Bebb come hard onto the brakes, but Bebb having to go defensive there to Chatterton, James, and Charlie Bebb. I've rounded up before the show for being a bit of a dark horse, and definitely showing it with some brilliant racecraft there.
Yeah, he definitely had to take the inside line now, otherwise he was going to, he was going to be stuck, wouldn't he? Let's be real about it. But we've still got Chatter and Roberts going at each other in front of these two as well, so it's going to be interesting to see how this finishes. See if Roberts can hold the position. I think he should be all right, but
Kiefer McKenna, he's almost done. He's got around about a tenth of a lap to go, so he's on the last couple of corners, and he looks like he's 4.4 seconds clear, and he wins round 1 of season 3 of the iRacing UK GT3 League. And here comes Paul Busby in his Porsche, and James Armstrong in his Mercedes takes 2nd and 3rd place. John Hitchens Ferrari 4th, 10th and 5th. But we've got contacts in the background there. Oh no, that's Charlie Bebby's got his way to 7th. Oh, look at how close they come across the line there. We have to get a replay of exactly what happened, because looked up and then all of a sudden they're all on top of one another. And we had to say, let's have a little look. What happened here? So this is a little bit earlier on in the lap, I think. Yeah, we'll watch it all the way through to the end. So that's Darracott and Roberts ahead of him there. Obviously, they've got a back marker at that point in between them. I'm not too sure who that was, but we'll come to that in a minute.
We chatted about Bev taking the inside, didn't we? And then Roberts coming up with Darracott coming up behind him. And the back marker is still in there, though, dude.
Well, yeah, but then what can you do? You need to, you can't just suddenly, through that part of the circuit, there's nowhere for you to go, really. You just got to try and maintain pace, because sometimes by allowing to try to slow up to let people, pass, you can end up tripping over them. So these two side through the back markers. Everyone seems to be letting them through pretty clearly. Darracott seems to having the better run coming out of that hairpin there. And, oh, there we go. The back marker they're starting to trip over him. And this is where I think it all ends in disaster. Darracott goes to the inside. He got the move done. Oh, there we go. There we go. Look there. Oh, this is so. Oh, coming across the.
Marcus as well. Beb coming through the middle takes Darracott. Beb definitely can't sort of. I've lost my words then. I couldn't figure out what.
Oh yeah, they were coming like 3 wide across the line there, and wow.
So poor back marker got him. He was just in that no man's land, wasn't he? He was kind of like, do I just push and finish? Do I stop and let him through? I don't really know what to do.
Well, yeah, it's so tricky when you're stuck in that position, because, like I was saying just before, if you try and move out the way, then it can end up catching you out even more so.
We've got to let the final race standings, Tim.
Yeah, do you want to go through them for us, James?
So we go after an epic race on the GT3. We've got Kiefer McKenna was the winner in his Porsche 911 GT3. Paul Busby, James Armstrong in 3rd, Jonathan Hitchens 4th, Tom 10 and 5th, Charlie Baird, who definitely capitalised at the end there, was finished 6th. Chris Cheddar, unlucky, was in 7th. Matt Cox 8th, Owen Blythe 9th, Danny Gosling 10th, Gianni Peroni 11th, Andrew Jones 12th, Simon Bamber 13th, Stuart Bickley 14th, Carl Sharkey 15th, David Kontov 16th, Daniel Tate 17th, Dominic Roberts 18th, Tim Darracott 19th. Chris Hitchens 21st. Not sure what's happening there.
Yeah, those two seem to have dropped dramatically. I'm not sure whether it's down to they picked up a penalty. Yeah, they might well have picked up penalties for due to the number of incident points that they've picked up during the race. So that's could be. We'll have to have a little bit. That'd be such a shame, obviously, after witnessing such a great battle. And wow, Charlie Bevan and Chris Chadson there, and they managed to capitalise. And
Charlie definitely come out top. That was a point scoring. And we've got Chris Hitchens and his Hurricane, Fox, Jacob Hyde, Alberto Gravelli, who had that epic battle we were watching earlier. Murray Luca, Adam Holloway, David Lewison, Xander Hill, Jake Cherrill. Unlucky for Jake there. Stephen Masters, Darren Wiley, Chris Edisford, Anthony Franklin, Dave Stringfellow, Sean Joe, Neil Smith, Steve Hughes, Stuart Brown, Brian Ward, and Damien Gee rounds off the top 40. Go for it, Colin Wynn 41, Austin William 42, Joshua Pratt in 43rd, Darryl Norgett 44, Gary Truby 45, Daniel Smith, Trevor Davis, Rob Armstrong, Carrick Stonehouse, Cy Anthony, Lee Green, Rob Sanford, Richard Jones, John Wyatt, Tim Farrell, Damien Lober, who, well, we just saw quite a few times go off through the race. Nathan Willoughby, Tim, my pick was in 57th. Sorry, Nathan, commentator's curse. After his accident. Tom Carroll, 58th. Ash Wheeler, 59th. The rookie, did he go off and not 28 laps down?
Yeah, I don't think he made the session or something happened to him. So unfortunately, he wasn't able to make the grid, which is a shame, really, because obviously after we saw in the race 1, he had an absolutely stunning performance. Obviously, you mentioned it. We mentioned earlier, and obviously you will have seen the top 20 drivers, the drivers at the pickup points. So the remaining 40, unfortunately, don't. They all on 0 points. Obviously, but this is showing you the championship standings because obviously they are as per the race results at this stage, with it only being round 1. Well, James, before I close out, what's your favourite moment of the race tonight?
All of it. Tim, I can't sit here and say to you. Tim, I can't sit there. Did you not watch the race, Tim? Did you not see it all? We couldn't even keep up. The producers couldn't keep up. It was all just hectic. Me and you were calling over each other. It was just manic. And that is what GT3 racing gives to us, Tim. It gives us entertainment. It gives us everything. We had Lober going off all over the place. We had my pick, Nathan Willoughby, hitting the barrier. We had chaos on the last corner. What more could you ask for? What more can we get out of a race, Tim? Tell me.
I can tell what we can ask for. We can ask for round 2, which comes to you live and exclusive on the iRacing UK Twitch and YouTube channels in 2 weeks' time. We will be coming live from Snetterton in 2 weeks. And wow, I was a little bit worried, James, after obviously the Porsche Cup, we see some absolutely epic battles. And could GT3, could we carry on and could we deliver just as much fun and entertainment for the viewers at home? And wow, my God, have we done that by in great measures. A great night of racing. So, just to say thank you, obviously, to producer Sean for all his efforts. The guys over at trackcams22.com for providing their brilliant camera angles and allow us to use them. Well, go and check them out. If you want to, obviously, follow us, subscribe to us, give us a like on YouTube. That'd be much appreciated, all part of the community. So, it's just down to us to say, this has been iRacing UK Discord Community GT3 League, brought to you via iRacing, the world's premier motorsport simulation. Good night.
Good night.